for Glory, episode 155. Yes, for 155 episodes in the Talk for Glory. We're also 24 hours removed off of AEW's Double or Nothing, which you guys already know, whether it's predictions, whether it's gameplay, or reviews, we will bring something. So, guys, I know I constantly have to say Young Smooth isn't here. So I'm just going to start just saying it's just me for now. But just because I say that doesn't mean Talk for Glory is a solo mission. Never forget that. But introductions are always a must. I'm an interview before. We're 24 hours removed. And it's time to give the AEW Double or Nothing review. So, guys, as you guys already know, here on Talk for Glory, I don't care what the hell was first on the card when I watched it. We're going to start it off with the TBS Championship. It is Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie. All right, guys, done to be honest. Were we actually thinking Jade had a chance of losing? Like, I know Taya Valkyrie is good and everything, but they really were forcing if it's not Chris Statlander, it ain't happening. And don't get me wrong, Taya Valkyrie is kind of grown on me. I like that she did the slide in German. Now that's Ishimori, now that's Shinsuke, now that's Taya Valkyrie. Really love that move, the slide in German. And I know that a lot of you guys will call that move jaded. You guys will call that Road to Valhalla. You know what I call that move? I call that move the Gland Slam. So to me, it's not jaded. To me, it's not Road to Valhalla. To me, it is the Gland Slam. But, I enjoyed this match for what it was. I enjoyed it for, I don't know what the time limit was, but I just could not force myself to believe, yeah, Taya has a chance. So, congrats on Jade on retaining, but then getting a little too confident in going double or nothing, which then forced herself into a second title match featuring returning Chris Statlander. And Chris Statlander, dare I say, finishes the story. She returned to a monstrous pop. She won the title that she kept going after, then getting injured, then going after, then getting injured. And now she's back and she finished the story, captured the title, and above all else, ended the streak. So now, I'm not going to say who's next. What I'm going to say now is, congratulations, new champ. We celebrate Chris Statlander. Next is an unsanctioned match. So although this does not go in the record books, it is the three-time ROH champion, the longest reigning NXT champion, the first ever Triple Crown NXT champion. It is, you all know him, you guys love him, you guys love to say his word. It's Adam Cole, baby, versus the Demo God, the Wizard, the Alpha, Y2J, the Painmaker, the Ocho, the GOAT, Chris Jericho. And, guys, I got to be a little honest here. I've seen some unsanctioned matches, not just from AEW, and I was thinking, okay, it's Chris Jericho. The best unsanctioned match Chris Jericho was ever in was against Shawn Michaels at Unforgiven, where he got beaten within an inch of his life. So I'm sure that these two will be able to recreate a magical moment like that. I was hoping for that. I was hoping that this thing would just hit the ground running. But we got Sabu going through tables. We got Jericho swinging kendos. We got Adam Cole swinging kendos. We got the Jericho Appreciation Society getting their ass whooped. It had what I was expecting in an unsanctioned. But again, my bar is kind of Shawn Michaels, and maybe that's a unimaginable feat. But I enjoyed the match. Not fully what I expected. I enjoyed the Britt Baker and Ruby Soho coming out. I enjoyed those two coming out. They were really fun to watch. But similar to many matches that have the stipulation of like there must be a winner in a sense, this is unsanctioned. Why did this end in a stoppage? I get it. Chris couldn't defend himself, quote unquote, and I get it. We've seen it in other places where, players couldn't defend themselves. I just don't like that. I would have rather I would have rathered it be Chris Jericho's knocked out. Like he's out cold. One moment, guys. Loud traffic. Okay, I'm back. And yeah, that's something with me that I would genuinely want a knockout in a street fight or an unsanctioned. Like if you really need the match to end, I would want it in knockout. And Jericho didn't get knocked out. He just what's the right term? He just couldn't defend himself, which to me isn't a knockout because the moment Adam stopped punching the daylights out of him, he started moving and stuff. So maybe if they're like, guys, you guys already know Talk for Glory, loud backgrounds. We're still going to give you the content. But, sorry, guys, I'm losing my train of thought here. But, Jericho moving a little bit after. Maybe if he would have just, like, stayed limp for a bit, maybe just about 5 minutes. Maybe have Jericho Appreciation Society or just JAS, because this is a mouthful at this point. Maybe have them carry Chris out. I did like Sabu. Sabu was pretty funny to me. Seeing Sabu go, I may be old as dirt, but I can still not wrestle. I can still bump. I can still dive. I can still go through tables and shit. So that was kind of interesting to me. But I know that we all wanted to have an undisputed moment. Now we will get that moment. Wasn't yesterday. Maybe it'll be Wednesday. Maybe it'll be next Wednesday. But I think we're all in anticipation for Kyle returning and him joining Roderick and Adam Cole. If this feud continues, then yeah, again, Undisputed Era versus JS, that would be pretty cool. Pretty cool. But guys, I have to admit, and they did it. They did the thing I love in street fights, and I guess in this case, they did the thing that I love in unsanctioned matches, which is dress in street fight attire. You're not wrestling. Like, whoa, that's a lot of traffic. One moment, guys. Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, they came out in street fight attire. Perfect. Loved it. I think Jericho's like one of the few people that does that, where he knows it's a street fight, so he's just like, I'm gonna come out in jeans, no shirt. And Adam Cole did the same thing. It wasn't jeans, it was like regular pants, but it just felt like a street fight. To me, it's the little details that matter to me. But be on and end all, I've been on this match for a little too long. Congratulations to Adam Cole. I know that there is a mixed tag match between Adam and Britt versus Ruby and Chris Jericho. And I'm kind of on the fence of that. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm going to be optimistic, but I'm also not going to be reaching for like a 5-star interjet 5-star mixed tag match. But now let's get into some title matches. The 21-man battle royal for the AEW International Championship. I believe there are two rules in battle royals, guys. Rule one, eliminate the big guy. So that means eliminate your great Khali's, your big shows, your big Casses. Go for it. Rule two, eliminate the champion. I can't stress this out enough, guys. A Battle Royal championship match is the most guaranteed there will be a new champion match type if everyone follows those two rules. Rule one, eliminate big guy. Rule two, eliminate champion. Those are literally the two things that will guarantee everyone in that damn match a new champion. And I understand that this is going to sound like a rant, guys, but don't get me wrong. I enjoy Orange Cassidy. I just think this man's held that belt too damn long. And I know what a lot of people are saying. Wait till Miro comes back. He's going to take the belt off of Orange. I don't need him to take the belt off of Orange Cassidy. I need Rush to take the belt off of Orange Cassidy. I need Jay White to take the belt off of Orange Cassidy. I need Swerve to take the belt off of Orange Cassidy. You could have had any of these guys take the belt off of Orange Cassidy, but this man did it. This man defied the odds. This man, with the laziest kick ever, eliminated Swerve Strickland. I'm not going to dwell too much because this is a battle royal. You guys know what a battle royal is. And I know it sounds like a rant, but holy hell, guys. This should not have been that hard. I'm not saying Orange Cassidy sucks. I'm saying that it should not have been this hard. It should not be this hard to get this title off of him. And now on to the next matches is the AEW Tag Team Championships with Mark Briscoe as the special guest referee. It is FTR versus, and I have said this since the last AEW. One moment. I have said this since the last AEW video with Young Smooth. And if he were here, he would agree, or we would just go back and forth about how this should not be a thing in 2023. It is 2023, guys. I should not be seeing I should not be seeing Jeff Jarrett getting a title match on pay-per-view. You know, I love Double J growing up. Again, 2009, 2010, 2011, Jeff Jarrett gets a reaction out of me. 2023, he gets an eye roll out of me. He gets a shrug. I'm not even mad. I'm just like questioning. And guys, this isn't me hating Double J and Jay Lethal. I think they're excellent guys. I just would have loved anyone else in this position. And I will say the saving grace here is adding Mark Briscoe, because this man is torn between old friends, new friends, respect, and just about everything that Mark Briscoe stands for. Now, I will say my favorite spot in this match was that guitar spot where Jeff Jarrett hits Jay Briscoe. I meant Mark Briscoe, rest in peace, Jay. But where he hits Mark Briscoe, and then Audrey comes out, and then Karen Jarrett knocks out Audrey with the guitar. Like, that was the funniest stuff to me. I don't know. Like I said, Jeff Jarrett does not get a reaction out of me like he used to. But whether it's Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Karen Jarrett, someone getting hit with a guitar will always get a reaction out of me. So maybe he gets a 1% of a reaction out of me. But I'm glad FTR retains. And now the big question is, who's next for FTR? I will tell you who I don't think it should be next. It should not be the Hardy Boys. I love Matt. I love Jeff. But I want to build to that. I want to build towards FTR versus the Hardys. Because if this is Matt and Jeff's last hurrah, their last ride into the sunset, let's build up to it. Let's build that anticipation. Let's look forward to it, not look across the street to it. I want to look to when we'll get it. Maybe we'll get it at All Out. Maybe we'll get it All In. But I'm not going to sit here and fan fiction, fan book, fantasy book the Hardys versus FTR. So instead, I'm going to talk about a match that the Hardys and others made famous. And it is in a ladder match for the TNT Championship. It is the Powerbomb Symphony Machine himself, Wardlow, versus a ladder match expert, former world champion in other companies. It is the only guy that decides, fuck it. Sleeveless turtleneck. It is Christian Cage versus Wardlow for the TNT Championship in a ladder match. And I don't care what anyone says here. I liked it. I liked the match. This match was very enjoyable for me. I love ladder matches. Maybe that's what's talking here. I love the ladder matches. And the fact that we got some Arn Anderson and Luchasaurus spots in, that kind of got a chuckle out of me. But what really got me was that swanton by Wardlow. I don't care what anyone says, guys. Wardlow should not be diving, but yet he does, and he does with precision. So that was pretty badass. And then him, I don't know if he springboarded or he just like jumped off the top rope onto the ladder. To see that it broke was kind of cool. It it kind of still paints that picture of, whoa, relax, man. You can do all these flips and dives and stuff, but you're still built like a brick house. So to see that ladder still break, I was like, oh yeah, yeah. Don't worry, man. You're still a heavyweight. For a minute, I was wondering, maybe we should have put Wardlow in Best of Super Juniors. But be all and end all, congrats Wardlow on retaining. I can't really say what's next for the TNT title because it became the pass around championship, and I'm way more invested in the international championship or whatever the hell that thing's called at this point, or All Atlantic, whatever. Next, we have Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm for the AEW Women's Championship. All right, guys, so I'm going to be short, sweet, and simple about this. This should not have been a pre-match assault. This should not have had Jamie go out like being attacked first by Ruby or damn, I'm forgetting the other one's name. Ruby, Tony, Paige. There we go. Like we should not have gotten Paige and Ruby getting involved. I was hoping we were going to get another classic, but it kind of felt like a bootleg version of what we got previously. And I get the callback. They did the Britt takes off the turnbuckle pad, and then Tony gets hit with it. But this time it was Jamie instead. But maybe, just maybe, the third time's the charm, because the first one was honestly amazing. I'll tell you guys here now that Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm has potential to be a part of the Talk for Glory Women's Match of the Year, which again we will be doing in December. But before we put pencil to pen, paper to pencil, we need to see that match. We need to see these two put on the classic, the showcase that we know they can. But be all and end all, congratulations, Toni Storm, our new and first ever two-time AEW Women's World Champion. All right, guys. So, like I said in the beginning of this, I don't care what was first, second, third, fourth. This is the Talk for Glory order. So, what's co-main eventing is the Anarchy Arena match featuring the Blackpool Combat Club. Yeah, I see what people say, the BCC. The BCC versus the Elite, the Elite. And I was saying this on Twitter, but Wild Things is bar fight music. I love the fact that the band was still singing and going on, because I can imagine myself fighting while Wild Thing is playing in the background. Maybe Wayward Son too, maybe, but Wild Things for sure. Like if I were to get in a fight right now and Wild Things was playing, It would just feel right. Like it would fit the mood. And I hope like whenever John Moxley gets in these like street fight like matches again, that happens a lot more often. Yeah, not gonna lie, this just might be match of the night. It might be match of the night. It's kind of tied with the world title match. So depending when you ask me what time of day, I'll say the NRK Arena and then I'll say the world. But that doesn't stop you guys from telling Talk for Glory what was your favorite match. But yeah, from beginning to end, I love this. I love that the Elite were just like, hell no, we're not letting you do your whole entrance. We're gonna bring the fight to you. Since there's 8 people here, I'll just talk about all my favorite spots with each of these guys. Favorite spot with Claudio, Cesaro, whatever the hell you guys want to call him. I know Tanahashi has a hard time pronouncing his name. Favorite spot with him was the pile driver in the back of a car to Matt Jackson. Bryan Danielson, my favorite spot with him. It was him literally kicking the shit out of him kicking the shit out of Hangman and Kenny Omega. So that was really fun. I'm sorry about that, guys. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, Bryan Danielson is a Hall of Famer, yes, and he was fighting 2 former world champions, former AEW Tag Team Champions at that. So to see him, go, yeah, I'm not scared of you guys, pretty badass to me. Let's see. I've given Mox my favorite spot with Moxley, hands down. I can't even argue this. Has to be his thumbtack spot. It just has to be. Has to be the thumbtacks. Matt Jackson must have had a horrible time um, getting thumbtacks out of himself. And then there's Wheeler Yuta. Now, it's crazy how last year when Wheeler Yuta was introduced into the BCC, I was not the biggest Yuta fan. I even said it makes no sense how on Wednesday this man was a goddamn jobber. And then on Friday he goes toe to toe with Mox. That's complete bullshit. But this showed me that Wheeler Yuta has that dog in him. So favorite spot with Wheeler Yuta is him getting the dub. It is literally him getting the dub. That's my favorite spot with Wheeler Yuta. You pin Kenny Omega. Calling it now. Wheeler Yuta should get the next IWGP United States Championship match before Will Ospreay / Lance Archer. And now we go to the Elite. Favorite spot with Nick Jackson. Honestly, it's him super kicking the band that sings Wild Things. To me, that was just funny. Also, I love the fact that in the double submission, Nick's still not tapping out. And whenever I see a double submission, I do think of DX versus Legacy Breaking Point, where Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes had the $1 Million Dream and a figure 4 ring post style on Shawn Michaels. So whenever I see like, a Boston Crab and a crossface, I always tell myself, You know why you're not winning? Because you're not doing the $1 million figure four. But I love the fact that Nick Jackson wasn't tapping out. Matt Jackson, my favorite spot, and I think it's everyone's favorite spot, the exploding super kick. Like that is everyone's favorite spot. Hangman, See, that's the thing. I kind of liked everything Hangman did because he's a cowboy. To him, this is a regular bar fight. So I just like the fact that Hangman was delivering that excellent cowboy shit. And Kenny. Someone cue the Avengers theme song because when this dude decked Yuta, decked Mox with the trash lid as if he was Captain America, that was perfection. And Claudio catching it like, no, not getting hit with this. Love that too. And, I may as well throw it in. My favorite moment with Don Callis is introducing Takeshita into the BCC. So now, big question. How long till we get the Golden Elite? How long till Kenny makes that phone call to Ibushi and we get the Golden Lovers, the Hung Bucks? You guys already know. There's so many nicknames in this group. There's going to be a war coming, and it's added by Takeshita and Ibushi, and we're all just waiting. Maybe it all comes together at Blood and Guts. But, like I said, Yuta, U.S. title match. BCC, congrats on that dub. Especially Yuta. Now time for the real main event. And before I go into that, guys, I want to thank everyone that'll be listening to this. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys can follow myself and Young Smooth on our socials on the screen right now. So Young Smooth TFG, his Twitter, Enigma _ V4 _ my Twitter, Enigma _ V4 my TikTok, Enigma _V4 my Instagram, Enigma _ V4 _. That is my Twitch. As you guys have seen, there's been a lot of gaming updates, uploads. So go ahead and follow the Twitch, guys. And above all else, guys, follow Talk for Glory, not just on YouTube, but on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Remember, Talk for Glory everywhere. You guys already know this. But time for the main event. It is the Four Pillars four-way. It is defending champion MJF versus Darby Allin versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And newly announced father, Sammy Guevara. Congratulations to you, man. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I did not like how we got here, but I'm glad we got here. So MJF was a highlight here. Like, this man is the champ, of course, but this man was just a walking highlight from the yelling to the strutting to the chicken shit heel. This guy was a highlight for me. Like, out of a majority of MJF's matches, I think this is like one of my top 5 for him. It shows character, it shows in-ring, it shows technique. And honestly, I'm glad he got the dub. I'm glad MJF gets the dub here. My favorite spots from Jungle Boy is honestly his hesitation using the AEW championship. Like, that was my favorite spot for him. I genuinely like that. I like that Jungle Boy was showing a sense of humanity, that he wanted to win the right way, the honorable way. My favorite spot from Sammy was just him cleaning house. Like, this man was on a mission. You just get told you're about to be a dad and you got a world title match? Hell, man. Bring the gold to the kid. Darby. Favorite spot with Darby was him giving MJF a skateboard shot to the head that I personally believe should put MJF to sleep. Now, favorite spot from all 4 pillars is them all doing their mentors' finishers. From Darby doing the Scorpion Death Drop, to Jungle Boy doing the Kill Switch, to Sammy Guevara doing the Code Breaker, to MJF delivering a crossroads. Like, guys, that was hands down one of the best 4 ways AEW's delivered. And I know that Double or Nothing was a mixed bag. I know a lot of people are saying it was good, some people are saying it was bad, some people are saying it was messed, some people are saying it was perfect. So, guys, wherever you fall on that spectrum, let Talk for Glory know. Let wrestling know. We're all a community. But with that being said, guys, that was the AEW Double or Nothing review by myself. So remember, guys, follow the socials. You guys already know. Youngster TFG, Enigma underscore before underscore, Enigma underscore before, Enigma period before, Enigma underscore before underscore. You guys already know what all those are. Twitch, Twitters, TikToks. Remember, Talk for Glory, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can hear us. And with all that being said, everyone, have a great night. Have a great day. Stay safe, and above all else, enjoy wrestling.